The day I discovered that my sister had stolen $18,700 from my savings account, she was standing in front of me wearing a dress I had paid for. She smiled. She thanked me. And she had no idea that I already knew. I didn't scream. I didn't slap her. I didn't call the police. I simply looked at her and said, "Enjoy the dress, Emily. It's the last thing I'll ever buy for you." Her smile disappeared. But what she didn't know was that the money wasn't the only thing she'd stolen. She had stolen the one thing I'd spent my entire life trying to protect, my trust. My name is Olivia Carter. I'm 31 years old, and for most of my life, I was the responsible daughter. The one who worked harder. The one who saved money. The one who remembered birthdays. The one who showed up when someone needed help. And, unfortunately, I was also the one my family expected to fix everything. My younger sister Emily was different. She was 26, beautiful, charming, and somehow always surrounded by people who wanted to help her. If Emily forgot an assignment, Mom called the professor. If Emily couldn't pay rent, Dad sent money. If Emily wanted a new phone, someone bought it. And if Emily made a mistake? Everyone said, "She's young. Give her another chance." I never understood how many chances one person could receive. Until she stole from me. It started years earlier. After college, I moved to Chicago and built a quiet life for myself. I worked as a project manager for a construction company. It wasn't glamorous, but I was good at it. I rented a small apartment, paid my bills, and saved everything I could. I wasn't saving for a luxury car. I wasn't dreaming about designer clothes. I was saving for something simple. A wedding. Not even a huge wedding. Just one beautiful day with the man I loved. My fiancé, Daniel, and I had been together for 4 years. We had planned everything carefully. A small outdoor ceremony. About 60 guests. A beautiful old vineyard outside the city. Nothing extravagant. But it was ours. Our wedding fund sat in a separate savings account. Every month, I transferred money into it. $500. Sometimes $800. Sometimes only $200. Slowly, it grew. By the time we were 8 months away from the wedding, I had saved $18,700. It represented years of discipline. Every skipped vacation. Every weekend I worked overtime. Every time I said, "Maybe next year." Then Emily called me. She was crying. "Liv, I need you." Those words should have warned me. But she was my sister. So I listened. Her boyfriend had left her. She had lost her job. Her rent was overdue. She said she was terrified. I drove 3 hours to her apartment that night. I bought groceries. I paid her electricity bill. And I transferred $900 into her account. "Just until you get back on your feet," I told her. She hugged me. "You're the only person who never gives up on me." I believed her. That was my mistake. For the next few months, Emily kept having emergencies. Her car needed repairs. Her phone broke. Her landlord threatened eviction. Her credit card was maxed out. Every time, I helped. But eventually, I started saying no. And that's when her attitude changed. "You have plenty of money," she said one night. "It's not about whether I have money. I'm saving for my wedding." She laughed. "You're really going to choose a wedding over your own sister?" I remember staring at her. Because that sentence told me everything. She didn't see my help as love anymore. She saw it as something she was entitled to. I stopped giving her money. And for a while, we barely spoke. Then came my wedding dress shopping day. My mother insisted Emily come with us. Emily acted excited. She hugged me. She took pictures. She told everyone. My sister is finally getting married. I thought maybe we'd moved past everything. I was wrong. 3 weeks later, Daniel and I received an email from the wedding venue. Our next payment was due. I opened my banking app. And froze. The account balance was almost empty. I refreshed the screen. Nothing changed. I checked the transaction history. Then my hands started shaking. There were withdrawals. Hundreds. Then thousands. Online purchases. Luxury stores. Hotel charges. Restaurants. And one transfer. $12,000. My stomach dropped. The transfer had gone to an account belonging to Emily. I called the bank immediately. They confirmed that the transactions had been authorized using my login credentials. Someone had accessed my account. I sat at my kitchen table for almost an hour. I didn't cry. I didn't move. I simply stared at Emily's name. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Emily. Can't wait for your wedding. I found the cutest dress for the reception. She attached a picture. It was a designer dress. The price tag was $4,800. I looked back at my bank statement. Then I understood. She hadn't borrowed money. She had stolen it. And she had been doing it while smiling at me. The next morning, I drove to my parents' house. Emily was there. She was wearing the same designer dress. My dress. The one she'd bought with my money. She came downstairs smiling. Liv. Look what I got. I looked at her. Then at the dress. Looks expensive. She laughed. Don't worry. I got a huge discount. I pulled out my phone. Emily. Her smile faded. Yes? How much did you take? Silence. She looked at Mom. Then Dad. Then back at me. I don't know what you're talking about. I opened my banking app. I have every transaction. Her face changed. Mom whispered. Emily. Emily started crying. I was going to pay it back. How much? She said nothing. How much, Emily? Finally, she whispered. About $18,000. Dad stood up. $18,000? Emily covered her face. I needed it. For what? She didn't answer. I already knew. Designer clothes. Hotels. Restaurants. A weekend trip. A new phone. And things she had bought to impress people who probably wouldn't remember her name 6 months later. Dad looked at me. Olivia, we'll figure this out. I shook my head. No. He frowned. No? I've been figuring it out my entire life. I turned toward Emily. This time, she will. Emily stepped toward me. Please. I stepped back. No. You can't ruin my life over money. I looked at her quietly. You didn't ruin your life because you stole money. You ruined it because you believed someone would always rescue you. She started sobbing. Mom tried to defend her. She's scared. So was I said. When I saw my wedding fund disappear, I was terrified. But nobody came running to save me. The room became silent. I looked at my father. I want the money returned. Dad nodded. Every dollar. Emily shook her head. I don't have it. Then work. She stared at me. You expect me to work for $18,000? I almost laughed. No. I expect you to work for what you stole. That afternoon, Emily had to start making calls. She contacted every store she had purchased from. Some items could be returned. Some couldn't. She sold her expensive phone, her designer handbag, her jewelry, her television, anything she had bought with the stolen money. She recovered nearly $7,000. The rest remained. And for the first time in her life, there was no shortcut. No parent quietly paying the bill. No sister transferring money. No one coming to rescue her. I canceled our wedding. Not because I stopped loving Daniel, but because I refused to start a marriage buried under financial chaos. Daniel understood. He held my hand and said, "We'll rebuild." And we did. Slowly. 3 months later, I moved into a smaller apartment. I started saving again. Not for a wedding. For myself. Meanwhile, Emily got a job at a hotel. She worked early mornings and late evenings. Every Friday, she sent me money. $200. Then $300. Sometimes only $75. I never mocked the amount. I never reminded her how much she still owed. I simply recorded every payment. Because this wasn't about revenge. It was about responsibility. 6 months passed. Then something unexpected happened. Emily showed up at my apartment without warning. She wasn't wearing makeup. No designer clothes. No expensive handbag. Just jeans, sneakers, and a tired expression. She handed me an envelope. I opened it. $1,200. I looked at her. "What's this?" "My tax refund." I pushed it back. "You need money too." She shook her head. "No. You don't understand. I want to give it back." I stared at her. She sat down. "I used to think you were lucky." I said nothing. "I thought Mom and Dad loved you more because you were responsible." Her voice cracked. "But the truth is, I was jealous of you. Because you could take care of yourself." She wiped her eyes. And I hated that. I didn't know what to say. She continued. "I thought if I had the clothes, the trips, the expensive things, I'd finally feel like I was worth something." She looked at me. But every time I bought something, I felt worse. That was the first time I believed her. Not because she cried. But because she wasn't asking me to fix anything. She wasn't asking for forgiveness. She was simply telling me the truth. A year after the theft, Emily had repaid almost the entire amount. She had also gone back to school. She was studying accounting. Ironically, the girl who once couldn't manage her own money had decided to teach other people how to manage theirs. My wedding eventually happened. Just not the way we originally planned. Daniel and I got married in a small garden with 23 people. No expensive decorations. No luxury venue. No huge reception. Just family, close friends, and the man I loved. Emily stood beside me as my maid of honor. Before the ceremony, she came into my room. She was holding something. An old photograph. It was me and Emily when we were children. I was holding her hand. She was missing one front tooth. We were both covered in mud. She smiled. "Do you remember this?" I laughed. "Mom nearly killed us." Emily looked at the photograph. "I've been thinking about that girl. The one who always held my hand." Then she looked at me. "I don't want to be the person who needs you to hold my hand anymore." My eyes filled with tears. She hugged me. And for the first time in years, I hugged her back without feeling responsible for saving her. The money she stole eventually came back. But that wasn't the real thing we recovered. We recovered our relationship. Because forgiveness didn't mean pretending nothing happened. It meant admitting what happened. learning from it, and refusing to repeat it. Today, Emily still works. She still budgets every dollar. She still sends me a birthday card every year. And sometimes, when we're together, she'll laugh and say, "I can't believe I once spent $18,000 trying to look rich." I always tell her the same thing. You weren't buying things, Em. You were buying approval. And approval is the most expensive thing you can ever try to purchase. She smiles. I know. Then she usually adds, "Good thing I finally learned the price." Looking back, I used to think boundaries were cruel. I thought loving someone meant protecting them from every consequence. I was wrong. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop rescuing someone. Not because you hate them, but because you finally believe they're strong enough to stand on their own. And sometimes, letting someone fall is exactly how you teach them to rise. If you've ever had to choose between helping someone you love and letting them face the consequences of their choices, tell me in the comments. Because sometimes love doesn't look like saving someone. Sometimes love looks like stepping back and letting them save themselves. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more emotional family stories, powerful life lessons, and unforgettable twists. And I want to hear from you. Would you have forgiven Emily after what she did, or would you have walked away for good? Tell me your answer in the comments below. Your support means more than you know. Like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next story. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes love isn't about saving someone. Sometimes it's about giving them the strength to save themselves.